Welcome everybody to BRITE Connections. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Victoria Saig, Director of Performing Arts and Project Coordinator for BRITE. BRITE is a nonprofit based out of Ventura focused on mental health and well-being through performance and the arts. Our mission is to support youth between the ages of 12 and 25 by helping to amplify their voices around issues that they care about. BRITE is made possible through funding from Ventura County Behavioral Health Department, Substance Use Services, and Prevention. I'm here tonight with some familiar faces. You might remember in September, Chris and Liv sat down with Evan and Michael and asked them questions regarding mental illness, mental health, COVID, and school starting. But today we're flipping it. Evan, Michael, and our executive director, Catherine Casimir, will be asking Chris and Liv the questions and giving them a platform to share what's on their mind and what their experience has been. So who are Chris and Liv? Chris is an 8th grade student who loves theater and hanging out with friends, socially distanced, of course. He wants to make a great impact on the community by helping others in any way possible, whether that's providing entertainment through theater or helping comfort friends. Liv is a middle schooler in the CVUSD school district. She is an active theater performer and wants to do all she can for the Thousand Oaks community and for Ventura and Los Angeles counties. So welcome, Chris and Liv. Hi. Here are your interviewers today. So I will do a quick introduction. Catherine Casimir is the founder and director of our nonprofit organization, Reality Improv Connection and the BRITE program. It all started with Catherine's love for the arts and vision for making connection and meaning through social change theater and applied improv. She has been creating educational entertainment since her teen years and teaching improv for 25. She is a member of the Applied Improv Network, was privileged to learn the theater of the oppressed, and has been facilitating social change theater since 2001. As a mother of 6, Catherine is passionate about empowering youth and supporting families. Hi, Catherine. We're going to say hi. We're going to say hi to Michael. Michael Morissette is a non-clinician whose community involvement has given him an opportunity to work as an outreach coordinator for Give an Hour in the Ventura County area. Michael comes into the mental health environment through his own lived experience, which has thrown him into advocating to change the culture of mental health so that all of those in need can receive the care and support they deserve. Hi, Michael. And lastly, we have... Hi, there might be a delay. It's Zoom fun. Lastly, I want to say hi to Evan Simmons. Evan is a licensed marriage and family therapist who has worked with children, teens, young adults, and families in LA and Ventura County for the past 10 years. He specializes in cognitive behavioral therapy and utilizes other therapeutic modalities to address various health concerns. Hi, Evan. I didn't trip over your bio this time. I think it's the 4th time I finally got it.
I feel like it's awesome every time. I just realize when I hear it every time, I'm like, oh yeah, I do this.
Right? So welcome everybody. And I just want to get the conversation kicked off for the next 20 minutes. It'll be a free form conversation, jump in, jump out. And Evan, would you like to start the evening?
Definitely. So I guess kind of right out the gate, first off, thank you guys all for being here and kind of participating. I know Chris and Liv, we were able to answer a lot of your guys' questions last time, and I appreciate it coming back. So I guess kind of right out the gate, and either one of you guys can start with this. I just want to start with, one, how are you guys doing, and what really has made this week alone for you something that you're looking forward to? And the reason I'm starting with just this week alone is because I really want to kind of get a sense of, in this here and now, where you guys are at before we kind of expand on to more how you've been doing and what you've been doing.
So this week has been pretty relaxing. I haven't had a ton of schoolwork. It's been just overall pretty good. I've had time with friends, and it's been just, I don't know, better than usual, I guess.
Okay. And so exactly, that's kind of why I want to start with this. So when you say better than usual, please explain, like, what do you mean by that? What is kind of better than usual? I know for a lot of people that has so many different definitions. I know for us as adults, you know, it definitely has various definitions. But for you, what does that look like, Chris?
So better than usual is like, usually I'm stressed out with like a lot of schoolwork or just not having a lot of free time. So I feel like this week has just been a lot overall better because I've had less schoolwork and I've had more time to just kind of be myself.
Nice. Awesome. I don't know, did we lose Liv, or what is she?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. Hi. Sorry, I cut you off.
My week is pretty good. Nothing towards the end. I'm hauling out for Halloween, my favorite holiday. And like Chris, it's better than usual. I've been more energetic and excited every day to actually wake up and go to school. But anxiety has been a little more on the charts, but that's the only downside.
Okay. So I don't know, I won't speak for all the adults on here, but I'll speak for myself. I know this whole everything is really kind of sucks, for lack of a better word. These past couple of months have had their ups, their downs. I'm taking full therapy cap off right now, so bear with me. For you guys in particular, though, when you think about where we started in March to where we're at now, what do you think's really kind of helped for you guys to be as resilient as you are, knowing that as an adult, it's definitely had these peaks and valleys that I know I've experienced?
For me, it's definitely knowing that if I keep going, determination and what's the word, endurance, and it also helps me kind of motivate my friends and family, and it just tells me to keep going because someone else I know and love can keep going, and I can do it if I try.
Awesome. Okay. What about for you, Chris? What's it kind of been like? What's kept you more balanced these days, or more so better now than you were in the past?
I feel like I've just been able to keep going a lot, like knowing that there's always something that I can like work towards.
Well, I have a question, and I just am thinking about, I talk to a lot of teachers, and so I hear what they're doing and how they're connecting with their students, and I see adults trying to be supportive of students in this environment. And I'm really wondering, what are the students, how are students connecting with each other? Like, what kind of examples are you seeing about how are students, are they communicating any differently than they did before COVID, for example, now that they're in Zoom all the time? What do you see going on about how students are being supportive of each other? Or are they feeling disconnected? I guess we don't even know what that is. So what does it look like nowadays?
I feel like that, at least in my friend group, we've been communicating almost more because sometimes it's easier now that we have different platforms that are more like known, such as Zoom or other like sites. So I feel like it's easier for us to connect and work through school and stuff. But at the same time, it's still different because we're not physically in person, so we can't like physically show someone anything. So it's hard and easier at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to agree with Chris. My friends and I have been texting a lot more, but the conversations end short because we don't know what to do. We're not physically there. We can't physically go anywhere. And what I've noticed of other kids is I haven't heard anyone talk about going to do something to each other safely. I just think it's some kids are getting together more and some kids are distancing more.
Thanks.
How do you guys differentiate between kind of things that you're doing because you're being asked to pass the time versus things you guys want to do? Or how do you guys decide which is best for you on any given day?
Usually I choose what I don't usually choose what I want to do. I choose what I need to do because I know at the end I'll be more satisfied knowing that I did something that had to get done instead of being like, well, I could do this and this, whatever I want. It's just doing what you want really isn't a motivation sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel the same way about that. I like to do the stuff that I have to do. And like I said, just kind of get to the end and have time to do whatever I want, like relaxing wise.
Have your priorities changed because your schedule's changed? Have you had to adjust as far as how you react to the day? You know what I mean? Are you able to schedule the day the way you want to? Is it comfortable for you guys?
Usually I'm not able to schedule a day because I don't know how much homework I will get. Some days I only have 5 minutes. Some days I'm done with homework at 3 o'clock. So most of the time it's really not available to check.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And like, it's kind of hard to plan stuff especially with this year's school schedule, where it's like you have 2 classes per day. One of the days I have my 2 hardest classes, then another day I have 2 easy electives. So I feel like it can be hard to manage days and try to like make plans because I don't know like what the schedule is going to bring.
Your days are a little unpredictable, and at the end of the day, you might not be able to plan ahead how much time you're going to spend at the end of a school day catching up. Are your weeks unpredictable that way too? Is it like an ongoing long-term insecurity?
Yeah, it sometimes feels like that because the schedule just kind of loops over and over and the classes don't really change. And some of my teachers have started giving more homework because we're further into the year. And so it's been getting a little more hard.
Agreed.
Yeah, that does kind of lead into the thing I was thinking. So as parents and as teachers, our jobs have changed a bit, for some of us quite a bit, you know? And so I'm wondering if you could think about for yourself, but also in relation to what you know about your classmates or your peers or your friends, do you have any advice, just kind of general advice, helpful advice for parents and teachers to keep in mind as we adjust and the way we need to be supportive of you?
Probably the only advice I could give is be willing for us to, like, as for students to email teachers, our work is going to be late or things have not loaded through because, one, we couldn't meet the due date for specific reasons, and 2, we may not have the ability at that time to turn it in because I have to do a lot of steps to turn in just a math worksheet. So half the time they don't even go through. So I have to email her, hey, I'm sorry, but it may not have gone through. I'm going to try to submit it again. But if it's not due tomorrow, my apologies.
So some flexibility is needed there and some understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I felt the same about that because also there's certain assignments that are sometimes like not saving my work, so then I have to start almost fully over, and that can be frustrating sometimes. And so I feel like teachers should also extend the due date a couple days, like if the students need it, because sometimes you have classes where you get backed up on schoolwork because they give like a later due date and you just need to push it back because you have too much work from other days. And sometimes it's like hard to catch up like midway through the week. And it kind of progresses throughout the week until you have that class again, which they just give more work. So I feel like not necessarily giving less work, but giving more of a leeway to turn it in would be very helpful.
Play the other side just for humor's sake. And you guys were to hear the statement of, but I don't understand. You guys have a class every other day and you only have 2 a day and you have all the hours where you can't go outside, can't go see your friends, you can't do anything. Why don't you guys have time to do all your work? What would be your response to that?
My response would be that a lot of teachers are giving work that would last multiple days. And then the teachers that are assigning that. So let's say I have English one day. My English teacher recommends us working for like an hour to an hour and a half one day, and then that the same next 2 days until we have that class again. But then if my other teacher does the same the next day, then that gives me already 3 hours of work that day, but I have 2 classes per day. So if they recommend splitting it out between days, it kind of just all clumps together and then ends up on like one day or whatever.
Yeah, and along that line, I usually don't split my work. I get it all done in that day it's due because, 1, I can forget assignments easily. That's on me. And 2, like Chris said, it piles up over the day. You get a long list each day. And as an example, today I had math and English, and one's an honors class. So we had like a story to read, to write a paragraph and answer reading comprehension. And so that took a good hour and a half. And while a teacher emailed me saying, hey, this assignment's due today, I'm making sure you're getting it turned in. You usually turn things in early. Why isn't it turned in? So I say, half the time I say, today was a hard day. I have a lot of assignments I need to catch up on. I'm going to get this to you as soon as possible. If not, just please be patient.
Well, this sounds so complicated, right? And very technical and a lot of details. And so I'm wondering, and you two are being so mature about it, and I'm wondering, what does it feel like? Like, what does this feel like for you?
It feels like I have to add a lot of extra details to sound mature and to sound like I know what I'm saying. I need more time, instead of sounding like a kid saying, I didn't do the assignment, give me time because I didn't do it. You need a reason to say why you didn't do it so they can believe you and say, okay, I'll extend the date, instead of them saying, well, you just choose to not do the assignment.
And what is that like? What does that feel like? Like, I can hear you, like how you want to state it and how you want to talk to it. But of course you can not answer this question, but I'm wondering, like, because I know sometimes as an adult, I just feel like crying. You know what I mean? When I'm dealing with this. And I'm wondering, you know, as kids, like, I'm sure there's a gamut of it, but like, what does it feel like to carry this amount of new ways of working?
Oh, I totally feel like crying. It's stressful, it's angering sometimes, but you just have to be like, okay, I got to get through this wall, and then I can sit down and breathe and not feel overwhelmed with stress.
Mm-hmm.
With that, and Chris, I apologize if you're about to answer, but kind of with that, and this is for both of you guys, does anybody else hear or feel like there might potentially be something concerning about the fact that you guys are fighting through a wall? And then with that, how do you guys self-advocate, and what do you guys do to cope with the fact that I can't imagine what it might feel like to feel like I'm pushing up against the wall every day? So what do you guys do to not let that bring you down and to kind of keep you guys as strong and as eloquent as you are today even?
For me, what kind of helps me is that I just know that I'm going to get through it. And then once it's done, it's done. So I usually try and get it all done in one day. But if not, it's definitely the next day, because I feel like that kind of helps release the tension of the wall. And it just helps overall just reduce stress for me.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, it might sound cliche, but I think of things that make me happy or excited or that I can look forward to know, hey, once I do this, I can go take a break and watch a TV show I really like, or I get to go see my family. That definitely helps me move past it, and it's a big factor.
That's what I was going to ask was, are there manageable like segments that you can see like hopefulness in? Okay, all I need to do is get so far by this much time, and then I can put hope in that position where I may have a new task, a new obstacle, I'll have new things to conquer, but at least I can put hope in, you know, the next segment. Do you feel like you can like have, you know, things to look forward to and something to have hope in?
Definitely.
Okay, that's good to hear.
And so with that, what would be the message you guys would want other kids your age, older, anybody kind of going through this pandemic, you know, at the same time as we all are, what would you want them to know, or what would be like your message to people in regards to kind of instilling hope or some sort of positivity? Or on the flip side, are you guys feeling like it's really hard to find positivity, and can you guys speak to that?
I feel like one thing that could help is just, I know I've said it a lot, but just keep thinking about how you're going to get through this, and that there's always an end in sight, especially if it's something just like work or something. Then it's usually easier to just get through and finish with it instead of stressing about it more and delaying it.
For me, I think of a list of things I want to do and things that I enjoy doing. And so I'll put that up at the beginning of the school day and say, okay, after I do this assignment at this certain time, I can do what I really love to do. And so that definitely helps me get through this. But when it is hard, you just got to buckle down and say, okay, I'm ready for anything.
And so this is for both of you guys, I'll let Catherine kind of go on. What happens when your favorite thing to do might be sleeping or always feeling tired, just wanting a nap each day? Then what?
Then I shall nap.
There we go. Okay. So we're giving ourselves permission for that. Awesome.
All right.
I'm really appreciating what you have to say. I need that advice, too. So thank you so much.
Aren't they cool? I could talk to Chris and Liv forever, but I want to be mindful of the time. So I want to open it up for everybody to ask one final question to Chris and Liv while we have them here tonight. Does anyone have one that comes to mind first?
Well, I was just thinking about if you had a suggestion of how your peers could support each other, like one little kind of simple thing that you think would be a helpful boost to each other.
One thing that I have found useful lately is getting together either online or socially distanced in person, just to talk and go through like our feelings or any stress that we've had. And I feel like it can help get a lot off our shoulders and just build a connection with our friends.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer this question directly at this time because we all have our different ways of doing things, and it's hard to make a time to get together, especially for some people.
I'll ask. Are you seeing that there's a challenge for you guys or your friends? How would you conquer the challenge of finding new ways to take care of yourself or to check in to get the relaxation or the grounding time that you need? How would you conquer that if you're not able to do it the ways that you're used to? What advice would you have to your friends as far as finding new ways and looking beyond like what used to be normal?
What I would say is plan it out. I like making plans with friends, and so I'll do it a week or two in advance, double checking the time, like, hey, make sure you have the time to do this. We should make a plan to do this and make it solid. Try to make it solid that same day so you can actually get together and talk.
Yeah, I also find that very useful, trying to make the plan, especially in advance, or just make sure that's confirmed, just so that we don't feel like anyone's going to try and like ditch or just not be able to make it, because I feel like it's good to have everyone there just to have that really good bonding and conversation.
And so I guess for you guys, with everything we've kind of talked about, what would you guys say to the individual, adults, kids, whoever, who are not used to sitting in front of a computer screen or a TV screen, and everything now about their daily life is virtual like this? What would you guys say to them, just in regards to what you've experienced, and maybe words of encouragement if it's not their cup of tea?
Definitely for me, this may totally be off topic or on the topic. I've been doing typing lessons because I suck at typing. And so, one, work on your typing because you're expected to write a lot of things. And two, even though you're on a screen, don't be afraid to show your face. I notice a lot of kids will just show their forehead and they won't show, and when they dress, they're laying in bed, they're not showing any enthusiasm. So go out of your way to get dressed and to set up a learning environment, and it really helps you focus and not feel like you're glued to a screen.
Yeah, around that same thing, one thing that I find helps me is think of it almost as if it's normal. You're talking to the same people that you would, you're seeing the same faces usually. And I feel like that really helps to try and break out and show your face or participate in the lesson or the activity.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Very cool. Yeah.
I have a question. Chris, scale of 1 to 10, how sick of this global pandemic are you? 1 to
10.
10. Liv, 1 to 10, how sick of it are you?
20.
Does it feel like you have to grow up faster?
Yes. My parents have told me it's your responsibility now to check emails, make sure you get things done, log in on time. I'm not reminding you anymore. You're on your own. So it's just being like, it sounds drastic, but like being thrown into the ocean and learning to swim for the first time. You're like, okay, I need to get the hang of this quickly, or things are going to go down.
You're driving yourself to school, right?
Yeah. I feel the same way, just like kind of having everything put onto me instead of having, oh, your parents reminding you to take a shower, eat breakfast. I feel like it's kind of our own responsibilities now that we're all at home and everyone's working in the same house usually, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to wrap up tonight and thank all of our panelists and our interviewers for being here with us for this October BRITE Connections. I will open it up. Any final thoughts, waves, gestures, dances, cartwheels? Chris, I know you can do
Oh,
them.
can I do a cartwheel? Oh, yes.
This is what happens when you put me in charge, KK. Awesome. Then with that, thank you for joining us for BRITE Connections October, and we hope to see you back in November for another fun night. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Chris and Liv.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.